just a little bit, this damn thing. The seat, the under seat storage is not huge, so you gotta like strategize a little bit, and I don't know if this is gonna work. It might. This one here. There. This is my camera gear. See if this will close. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's see if we can get through here. This is what they do in other countries when they lane split. And there we go. These driveways, I swear they make these driveways. They say they're for 2 vehicles, but damn, you have no room on either side of the driveway to get in or out. So today is Sunday. Alright, what's going on here? Always something. What you doing, buddy? What you doing? I'm gonna go this way. Today is Sunday. I don't even know. What is today? October 2nd. Keep forgetting my date display is right there. But as you saw, I put my camera gear in the back under the seat. The storage is pretty good considering. You have to strategize though when you do store things, as you saw there. So I'm going to go up to the river and do some photography, maybe take some video, and see, this helmet will fit under the seat, so I will show you that when I get there, and I'll have to switch my camera from the helmet to the GoPro stick, as they call it. So yeah, I just wanted to get out this morning before all the football games start. Go Bengals. And yeah, we'll see what happens. A little chilly this morning. I'm actually gonna go, I'm gonna go this way for a change. Get on the major, not the major highway, but this highway I'm going to get on is like, people go 65. So I'm going to go this way and check it out, show you a different route, but going up to the lake, and we'll see what's up there. Hopefully it's not jam-packed with people and stuff, but I wanted to show you this video is going to be a little bit more about photography. And I know it's kind of off topic about motorbikes, but you know, this channel kind of encompasses a lot of different things. It started out as just a random kind of like adventure channel, and yeah, we'll see what happens to it as the platform grows, YouTube grows, and this channel grows and things of that nature. But I want to do my hobby used to be photography before the video. I was an avid photographer, believe it or not, and I'll explain this a little more as I get there. My gas is interesting. Didn't realize how low my fuel was. It's only got 2 bars on the LCD, but you know what, that should last me a while. I don't know how many miles it is per bar, but I'm just going down the road. It's not that far. It's chilly today. I think the high right now is like 56, and it's only going to get to like 68, 69 degrees today, so that'll be nice. And it's a little, like I said, a little chilly when you ride in 50-degree weather, but I kind of dressed a little bit more for it, but it's beautiful. It's nice and sunny today, and I'll take it. Now this is a bypass road, and like I said, you can get up, I think the posted limit is 55, but people of course go a lot faster than that. See, when you're on a small bike like this that weighs less than 300 pounds, you get those crosswinds. Because the winds, it's about, I think I left the house, I noticed it was about 12-mile-an-hour winds. So when you're going 60 miles an hour on a bike and you get a crosswind, you got to be careful. You couldn't tell from the video, but I was kind of bouncing all over the place there. And I mean, you have control, but at the same time, you got to be careful with the winds. Sometimes I'll just kind of duck in, you know, get as small as possible when it's windy like that. Kind of keeps the wind off the chest and things. Speed limit strictly enforced. You know, it's funny when you see those signs, like, well, who's enforcing it? The people that live in the homes? How's it enforced? I think all that means is if you do get caught, it's a higher fine or something. I'm not sure, or they just post it for more of a deterrent. But anyway, getting back to the photography, before the video, I'm talking decades ago. When I was in my early 20s, I think I started getting interested in photography, and that was before the digital age. So that's when I didn't really do darkroom work, but my transition into photography, or my interest in photography, pretty much came when rolled film was getting popular. And so my first camera, I think, was a Canon Rebel, if I'm not mistaken. You know what, I can't honestly even remember. I think it was a Canon Rebel that took film. Woo. And so I remember I would buy a ton of film. We still have packets in our drawer today, in our drawers around the home, with tons of photo packets. Hang on a second. So I remember I would drop them all off at once. I would take about 5 to 10 rolls of film on my camera, and then I worked as an outside technician back in the day, so I would be able to kind of run errands and stuff when I was during my job, because I was an outside technician, drove around the whole tri-state all the time, every day. And I think I'm gonna go up here, see what's up here. But I would drop off about sometimes a half a dozen to a dozen rolls of film at this place called Provident Camera, downtown Cincinnati. And of course they're no longer there, like anything else in the world. But it was kind of a cool thing back then with photography, because I think back then photography was more of an art form, because you didn't have instant there's a place up there, you didn't have instant feedback. In other words, like with the digital camera, you can very easily look at the display, right, and just gauge your settings. But with photography back then, film photography, you had to know your settings ahead of time, and it was a lot of experimenting. I can't tell you how many rolls of film that I completely wasted. Like, oh my god, I can't even see them, they were so dark. So it's a great learning curve, film photography, and you can still do it. I think they still sell film photography, if I'm not mistaken, but of course it's not very popular anymore, but there are some people that do like that. Doggy there. Don't know if they're gonna go up to that table or not. I kind of like to come up here, and there's a picnic little shelter area back there, as you can see. But of course, there's always somebody around, so we'll see. I don't know if they're going to go up there or not. They have a dog, so probably not going to go and sit on a bench. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. Dog doesn't like that. That's funny. So yeah, anyway, I would drop off like a half a dozen rolls of film at this Provident camera, and then I would learn as I went, basically. So here we go. Now my helmet does fit in here, and I'll show you, just for kicks and giggles. People wonder, does a full size helmet fit in under the seat? Sure does, but at the same time, it's not every helmet. So when I was buying this ADV 150, this is my camera bag, by the way. This is awesome. This is a low pro. I bought this, of course I buy everything off Amazon, but I'll have the links to any of this in I have a little store that I set up, so if you're interested in anything, check it out. But I always keep my my registration in here. And what else do I have? This is my registration. Yeah, registration. I don't know why I have two. I'll look at that stuff later. What is this? Oh, these are my instructions after if you get locked out or if your ignition fails. You know, I had a video on this actually, where you input your number it's the emergency release for starting your bike, because I've never ran into that, and thank goodness, but it's there if I need it. I just carry this. This is kind of like to charge my phone if I need it. But I'm going to switch this right now, and I'm going to switch it to my little GoPro right here, or I can use my phone. I think I'll use this though, so hang tight. Okay, so we're back. Now I have my camera, my GoPro on my little stick here, and I'm going to show you the first of all, you have to take this off. You have to take this whole chin mount thing off, because if you don't, it's not going to fit in the seat. So let me take that off, and you can't do it with one hand, so hang tight. It's always something. All right, try this again. So I believe the only way I can fit this helmet in is if I do it this direction. Let's see. And I don't even know if that's going to work. I can't remember. I haven't had my helmet under the seat too much, but you can see it's kind of in there. And then let's see if this closes. Yeah, see, I can't remember how exactly. There's really nothing under it. I think basically what I did was, see how it's kind of, you got about that much play. So I don't know, I don't want to bust it, but it seems like I had this in here. Maybe it is this way. We'll try this direction. Sorry about that. I need an assistant. No, that's definitely not going to work. See, there's no way. We'll get this out of here. This is one reason I don't mess with it. The helmet will fit, and I'm trying to prove that it will, but at the same time, it is maybe I had to raise this a bit. Maybe that's what it was. At the same time, it's a hassle. Now, if you had a smaller helmet, yeah. So that's why I need a box on the back, right? I need a box. All right, let's try this. Man, that's even worse. Guys, it does fit. I've had it fit before. Yeah, see? So it fits. So what happens, it hits right about here. But because this seat's plastic, then you got to do this. So yeah, it hits. You know what? I think that's there purposely to protect the helmet. I just noticed that. See that? It's like a little styrofoam thing. But so the helmet does fit in there. It's not ideal. So I would recommend, if you have a bigger helmet like this is a modular helmet, full-size modular. But if you do have a larger helmet, you probably want to get a box on the back, because it's just the convenience factor. This is not fun to deal with every time, because look at all this other gear I have. Got all this other stuff, and now I can put it back here, and there's my camera bag, right? So let me put some stuff away, and then we're going to go up here. I'm going to show you some of the camera stuff I have. Okay, so I basically turn the handlebars to the left all the way, and then there's a lock. If you put it in the lock position and you hold down this this key right here, press this until it turns red. You'll see a red indicator. I don't know if that was, now it's locked. Basically, the bike is locked. I mean, it's only 300 and something pounds, or like less than 300 pounds, but anybody can pick it up and put it in a truck. But I'm going right there. So, or I could, you know, I could lanyard it to a pole or something. I don't know. I have not figured that out. I'm not really away from my bike ever. Like, I'm not going to leave the bike here and go. I'm not going to go walking on a nature trail or anything, because the bike is so light. The only thing I worry about with this bike is being so light is theft, obviously. But there's ways to get around that. They don't really have anything that you can secure the bike to, unless you find a tree or something, I guess, but, or you can somehow rig it to that. But that's really not a big concern of mine, honestly. So it's locked, and there you go. It's locked. Nobody up here. And I got my backpack, this thing on my back, as you can see. Pretty nice, huh? So I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go up to this little shelter up here. And then I want to show you some of the camera gear I have, and talk about photography a little bit more. But yeah, photography was always, I was absolutely, with photography, I was addicted to it. It was kind of a sickness. I had a camera like everywhere we went, everywhere. And I'm sure my family and friends remember that. But I was very addicted to photography. But at the same time, I always wanted to keep it a hobby. Now, I had intentions to maybe, hey, can I do this maybe full-time one day, photography? But just never amounted to that, because I kind of wanted to have fun with it. Let's see where we're gonna go here. There's some sun over here. Let's see. I kind of want to be in the shade though, because it gets really hot in the sun with this coat on. I think I'll probably lose this coat. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a place to sit where it's not filthy. So hang tight. I'm going to set up my little tripod here. Okay. Very windy up here. You're probably going to hear a lot of wind noise, I'm thinking, from that camera. But this is my bag. This is my, if you can see it, this is my rig for my DSLR in here. So we'll kind of go over this a little bit. I really like this camera. This is a Nikon, what is this one? D5200. Okay, I got the zoom lens on. This is a 300mm zoom, and with DSLRs, it's nice because you can basically release the lenses and change them out. For those of you who don't know what a DSLR is, but that's it. And this mounts to this. Okay, so we're gonna mount this to this. I don't know. Let me turn this down. I'm gonna mount this to this. And this can slide back and forth, but I like to give it more room because I have to open the back part of that. there's like a little channel here that you got to be careful, and of course it got locked into this channel. There we go. I had to move it past the channel. Hang tight. Sorry guys. This is probably the only, I don't take this on and off too much. I just did this for demonstration purposes only. But we get this on here and tighten that. See that's basically, that's my rig right here. So you can hold it this way, you know, hold it like this. So that's the camera. And I got some other goodies in here. And this is actually my, this is a lens that is a kit lens. It's like 55. So this is for like landscape photography. If you want to go, if you want to get more of a wide angle, you would use like a lens like this. And I'm sorry if you guys already know about photography. I'm just kind of rambling here. But this actually, I forgot that this thing actually has movie capabilities. I bought this strictly as a camera. I didn't even think about, am I going to ever use video with this, honestly. And turns out, I was researching one day cameras, like video cameras, and I'm like, wait a minute, does my camera even do movies? And I found out that my camera actually records HD video. I was like, wow, didn't even know that. What else I got in here, this bag? Let's see. I wanted to show you what it kind of looks like with some gear on it. So I got my microphone right here. See, this is nice because these are little hot shoe stuff where you can basically mount mics, you can mount lights. So this is the light. You just basically plug it in, or the microphone, you just plug it in. Now I got a nice mic, and I'm going to take some video with this too so you can hear the sound difference. What else we got here? Oh, this is my light. So you can basically do this, and now I have a light. See? This is my rig. This is what I use at home for my studio. And I put this on a tripod at home, and this mic does an excellent job. But see, that's it, and you can carry it like this. You can carry it like this. You know, it's nice when you walk on the ground and you kind of hold it down. So that's pretty cool. What else? And I got that's about it for right now. I'm gonna switch this. I'm gonna turn this on right now. Take the lens cap off, and we're gonna fire this thing up. So, I don't know if you could see this. Let's see. This opens here. And of course, see, I don't have it up enough. There we go. So this opens up. And you can view that here. So we'll turn it on. See? So this is how I walk around with it, just like this. Okay? And so to put it in movie mode, you have to switch this little button. Now it's in movie mode. And so what I'm going to do is kind of bounce back and forth with this and this on the final video here. So I want to show you. If I'm just sitting here, I'm going to see if I can get my bike. So there's a little press record here. Okay. Now I am recording video. And there's my bike. Kind of parked behind a tree, so I really can't focus on it, it looks like. Let's see. It's got autofocus on. But anyway, this is there's a guy up there, see if I can focus him. And the autofocus, there it is. The autofocus on this camera, the only thing about Sony is the autofocus on this thing is not the greatest in the world. But you know, if that was Bigfoot or something, that'd be pretty cool. But I got the zoom lens on, so right now this is good to zoom in on things. And it takes a minute for it to focus. There's the portalet, real important, you know. But that's kind of what that's kind of what this is all about. This is where I can just walk around like this. I could, but you get the idea. So that's the DSLR. And I really don't take this out too much because it's kind of bulky, as you can see, but there's going to be and my batteries don't last quite real long on here, so I'm going to have to get about 2 or 3 more batteries. But let me turn this off, and I'm going to get back on the bike and kind of talk about my photography escapades a little bit, so hang tight. We'll just have to put all this gear back in here. So it's quick release stuff. So like the light, look, it just comes right off. Boop. This comes right off. Boop. Now, these are hot releases, and this is wind buffer. This comes right off. So before you know it, a few minutes, you got all these parts separately, and you just put them in your bag. So always remember to put your lens cap on. But yep, this is, there's really not much up here to shoot, unless you want to shoot leaves and trees. So hang tight, I'm going to get back on the bike here shortly, okay? I just noticed I have super wide view on this camera, so I'm probably going to look like I'm in a fishbowl. I usually put super wide view on when I'm riding the bike, but I don't really have, I don't use linear too much, and if you guys know about cameras, you got linear, you got wide, and you got super view. So when I'm riding the bike, I like to put it in super view because it gives a wider aspect of things around you, especially when you're on the roadway. There's the bike. Here's my key. Yep, there goes my camera thing. Always stuff falling out of the pockets. But here's your key. Nobody in the parking lot. And there she is. I've been really pleased with this bike, and I know a lot of you that follow my channel are buying these and some other bikes I recommended. I rode that BMW G310R that I know some people have purchased, and you know, it's like I said in a comment to somebody. But by the way, thanks for the comments. Thanks, Mr. Fifth is a new subscriber. Thank you, appreciate that, and all what you guys do. But like I said in a comment, it's not always about the bike. It's about just getting out there and experiencing the world and on the road, and just the freedom of riding a bike. So it doesn't matter if you have a Honda, a BMW, whatever. The application really doesn't matter. It's the enjoyment factor that everybody likes. So in the future, I'm going to be riding different bikes and kind of showing you reviews and stuff, but that's very hard to do right now because inventory. No dealers have a lot of inventory right now, so that's my struggle. But there'll be more to come down the road, don't worry. Anywho, let's get on the road and we'll talk some more. Oh, but before I do that, so if you're coming up to this bike and you want to unlock it, you have to hold down this key till it turns green. Now that you got the green light, I couldn't tell. Is it unlocked? Yeah, now it's unlocked. So this is gonna, since there's tension on the seat, I have to press it down to release this latch. But we'll get this, we'll have to put all my gear back on my helmet and fix all that stuff, and we'll take a little ride here shortly, okay? Very windy. Very windy today. But as you can see, it's a production to do when I have a camera on the helmet, and then I got to take my camera off, and then I got to store my helmet in the seat. It's just, that's why I need the back rack. I am going to get a carrier on this, a box like the rest of you have, and do it that way, because I don't know, I don't enjoy taking all this gear apart constantly, and that's why I don't do it. When it becomes a hassle, you're not going to do it. So here we go. Let's get this show back on the road. And we're off. But simple process, right? That's what's nice about this, a little small bike like this, especially a scooter, when you have under the seat storage. At least you can put some things under it. It takes a little organization, but I'm managing. But it would be nice to have the box, definitely. So this is Rensselaer's Forest. I've done some videos on this park, and I didn't really come up here to take photos or anything. I've exhausted all that here at this park many years ago. I just came up here to kind of to show you that photography is still fun. It's still fun as a hobby, and if you want to make a living at it, I'm sure you can do it, and people do every day of the week. I think the difference, though, if you want to make a living at photography, as we're riding around here, you have to have that drive and that energy, and you have to be smart about it. There's plenty of people on this planet that make a good living doing photography. I don't think it's dying at all, and I think photography is probably and more often is probably going to come back, because I think people are kind of getting burned out with video. Let's see what these people are doing. All right. Humans. But anyway, yeah, photography is not a dying art form. I really don't believe it is. It's just video is exploding right now with these platforms. As you know, YouTube, with the YouTube shorts, I do a few myself. The Instagram and the TikTok, you know, video is very, very popular right now. But at the same time, people love a good photo of themselves, like a family or senior pictures, or, you know, weddings. But as a photographer, some people fishing back there, you cannot see it in super wide view. But as a photographer, you got to find your niche, they call it. And I never really wanted any part of being a wedding photographer. That didn't just fit my style. I was more, because I'm an introvert, believe it or not, that's why I enjoy bike riding. I'm doing it solo. I get out here. It's okay to talk, you know, record my voice and stuff on video, but being an introvert, wedding photography really wasn't anything I was excited about doing, and I didn't have the expensive gear to do it. I couldn't go out and afford the $15,000, you know, lenses, the fast lenses, especially in low light situations. I tried my hand at sports photography back in the day, and again, the gear that I had just did not foot the bill. It just wasn't fast enough, because when you shoot sports and you have that quick shutter speed and you try to get it in a low light situation, like at a football field when they have the lights, you're not going to get that. It's going to be blurry. So you need what they call a fast lens, which is basically the aperture has to be like a 1.2 or a 2 or something, and it gets technical, but I'll spare you the technical stuff. But you know, if you don't have those fast lenses, the really clear lenses, you're not going to be able to capture sports. So that was out the window, and the reason is I didn't have the money back then to really even buy a $1,000 lens. So and I'm not blaming gear entirely, right? But when you outgrow your gear, then what? And that's kind of what happened to me, is I outgrew my gear. So I could still do landscape, and you know, I was able to get in some of my work published. My photos are in a few books. These here I'm going to show. This one's in a book. I think another one's in a book. I can't find the photo I took of a bridge, but that's in a book. This image right here, this poker set, we were just over some friend's house, and I had my camera on me at all times, right? So I took a photo of this poker chip, and somebody discovered it online, and this company from Switzerland actually asked me if they could use this photo in a game board piece that they were going to create. I'm like, sure. And I don't even think I got compensated for it. I can't even remember. But it wasn't about the compensation. I just enjoyed photography back then, and it was just a joy to go out there. And especially what I enjoyed most was doing landscapes. You know, get up there. I'd set my alarm for like 4 o'clock in the morning, no kidding, and I would go up to the lake, like a 45-minute drive. It's called Miami Whitewater Lake, and I would I would get up before the sun. I would get up there before the sun even came up. So what I would do is, and it would be freezing. I remember I'd do it during the winter and everything. So I'd be freezing. I could see my own breath, and I'm setting up my tripod in the pitch black to get the sunrise over the lake. And here's some of the photos of that. So it was fun, but at the same time, I didn't pursue it as a full-time position, like a full-time career, I should say. Just didn't want to. For one, I didn't know what niche I really liked, and to compete in landscape photography as far as a professional, good luck. Everybody and their brother can take a landscape photo, you know, so that was very hard. But the people that are in National Geographic and the people that really make a living doing photography, you really have to know business, and you have to market yourself. And it's just like anything else, whether you own a pizza shop or a photography business, and anybody that's doing photography can relate to that. Getting back to photography, I never wanted to. I would have loved to do it as a business, but I was limited with resources. I didn't really have the money back then to really. I didn't want to take a loan out to buy camera gear, for crying out loud, because some of those lenses, like I said, are $10,000-$15,000 easy. So I kept it as a hobby, and I did good. I mean, I did more than most people as a hobby photographer. I got my work published. My stuff's used around the globe in different images, but it's more of a, just kind of like a feeling of gratification that, hey, I'm making some good in the world, and people are liking and enjoying my photos, and that's what really is more important to me than the money aspect, at least back then. I didn't really care, because I've always had corporate jobs and a full-time job. Like I said, I've been at my company 26 years, so been there a long time. Gonna get back on this highway, 55 miles an hour posted zone. I still have to let off the gas or I'll ride up on this person in front of me. So this thing does have some good get up and go to it. Now it's very windy. Since there's nobody behind me, I'm going to slow down a little bit. It's very windy right now. So up here, where you get a little break in the trees, you get these crosswinds that come across the highway right about here. Yeah. And so they'll just blow you. You got to be very careful. They'll blow you off the bike if you're not careful. And this is a very light bike, like I said. So I would say any youngster that wants to get into the profession of being a photographer, you really got to know a niche. You got to really understand, what do you want to do with it as far as a career? What's the most enjoying thing that you like about photography? Now, if it's just getting out there and taking sunrises, good luck. That is very competitive, and you're gonna have to find creative ways to market yourself. I'm not saying it's not obtainable, but the money for photography is really in portrait work and wedding photography, but at the same time, that kind of stuff is very, very stressful. I heard the photographer is just probably more stressful than the bride on wedding night. So again, I just never wanted to get into that. No thanks. I wanted to keep it fun. But yeah, I don't think photography's dying at all. It's not a dying art form. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to make a comeback, because eventually, in my opinion, people are going to get exhausted with video. And now video is the future, of course, but at the same time, you know, it's going to get old, and it's going to change one day. And I think photography will never change. I think photography will always be an art. It'll always be out there. And with the cameras and stuff now, with the cameras that are out there now, anybody, it really leveled the playing field for anybody to be a photographer. There's some phones that take better photographs than my DSLR 5200 Nikon that I spent probably $500 for. There are phones, but at the same time, phones are more expensive than that. The only thing that phones can't do that, like my digital camera can do, is the low light situations. But they're getting better each day, and I think with some of the new, camera phones that are coming out, do a great job with low light photography. So I don't know, it just, and they're lighter to carry. I mean, would you rather carry around a phone or that big lunky thing that I have? I don't know. So everything has its own application. But no, photography is not dying, not at all. You just, like I said, with any other business, you have to find clever ways and find the niche to market yourself and discover what makes your photos different than someone else. Now, people used to tell me that I have the eye for photography, and what the eye means is I could see the composition of the frame and visualize it more, you know, better than the average person. So I always had the eye for it, meaning that composition is always important. Where you have people that just snap a photo and don't really take any of the elements in the background serious, or they don't know how to do the aperture where they blur the background. That was always fun to me. My camera is probably in the A mode for aperture 100% of the time, unless I was taking sports shots or something with then I'd put it in shutter speed. But aperture is where it's at, and aperture is where you get that blurred background and your subject's more in the foreground. That is really cool to me. That's what sold me on photography. I'm like, how do they do that? How do they get that blurred background? Well, it's just called aperture. But without getting technical, that's the difference. See, my phone doesn't do that. My phone has a portrait mode that kind of changes the aperture aspect of it, but I don't have the same control with the cell phone that I would my DSLR, you know. But anyway, enough about that. I think you get the idea. And if I know there's some people that follow my channel, Gearworks, I think it is, he loves photography too, a very good photographer, and I know how you feel, man. It's the same with me. I really like it, and I've always wanted to keep it a hobby. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna walk up here to Halloween night and take some movies of that. That'll be pretty funny. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, ranting a little bit about my photography stuff, but it was a fun hobby for me, and it still is. And it's nice to get on this bike and just go up there and take photos once in a while. But thanks again for all the new subscribers, and I really appreciate all the donation, everything that you guys do. It's really, really cool to see that, and I hope I can bring more to you here shortly, and I will. So you guys take care, and let me see if I can watch this. I'm going to pretend I'm lane splitting here. I can't do it. I got to hold my feet down. There we go. We are back. Whew. Tell you what, when that sun comes out, it does. My gloves are getting tore up. Looks like I'm going to have to get some new gloves. I've had these about 2 years. Yeah, see that? It's starting to split. Till next time, guys, have a good weekend.